Right, as it's a little bit cold outside, not riding so much at the moment, and it's even difficult to do work on the bike, especially with Royal Mail being what it is at the moment and deliveries being all over the shop. So anyway, luckily, Q&A time. So, question and answers, and the person who, I don't know, asked a good question, you can win an amazing Big Pezza puck. The Big Pezza puck is 3D printed and designed by myself, and has I have about 15 people have them, and only one's broken, and that was my fault because it was on the side stand and I tilted the bike onto the side stand, so the whole weight of the side stand went onto the puck. So I think any puck would probably break under that load, so not bad. Right, we'll get into the questions. So, no particular order. You Motorcycle asks, I always wondered why the name. Well, the name of the story, I have explained it before, but the name of the story is back in 2015, something like that. I used to roll up to a motorbike shop, and at the time I think I had a CRF 250 and was it 2015 or 2014, 2013 even, but I did have the BMW, so it must have been around 2015. Had the BMW as well, and it's one of those bikes that I'm not the tallest person in the world, and the joke was they said, "Oh look, it's Big Pezza," and so one of the shop people said, "Oh look, it's Big Pezza," you know, and because it's like short guy rides big bikes that are too big for him, sort of thing, and it's kind of comical, I guess. Like people. I showed up to work for there is countless of videos, I might slice them in here, of me riding that bike and people just laughing, you know, it's like, you know, that sort of thing. My mate was in hysterics when we went to pick it up together, and people at work were in hysterics when they saw me put up on this thing. They said, "There's no way you can handle that bike, you'll get rid of it." And it's 7 years later I still have the BMW. So yes, because I rode comically large bikes, I guess, for my stature, and they're called Big Pezza, and it kind of stuck. My account name on that particular shop was Big Pezza for a long time as well. So I used to be called a different name, and when my old YouTube channel got striked and I couldn't upload, I just made a new YouTube channel and carried on. But it's unlocked now, but it did take about 6 months to unlock. It just like restricted I had a couple of strikes on there. I didn't get banned, but I did get like locked out from uploading. Anyway, next question. What is your favourite type of green lane? Example, you know, technical, flowing, sunken lake, impressive views, chalky, stony, rocky, gravel, watery, dry, what? Read more. Oh, okay, so it's a few questions coming from Craig Lynn. I think that's how you say it. Craig Lynn. Anyway, so rock, gravel, blah, blah, blah. I like a mixture. I don't have any particular type. I think it all depends on the mood that you're in, the people you're with, and you just go. Sometimes I like a bit of challenge. You look back and going, "Oh, I can't believe I made that," you know, or "Well, that was a bit sketchy," you know, something like that, or "Did you struggle in that bit as well?" You know, that sort of thing. So I have no really preference. I think the change, variety is the spice of life. So I don't really mind. It depends what sort of mood you're in, depends what sort of day it is. If you're just doing a ride where you want to cover distance, and you know, so you know, if I was loaded up or whatever and I just wanted to carry distance, or I just wanted to see the scenes or stuff like that, it depends. But open gravel roads, fine for that sort of thing. But if I'm not laden, I'll take on anything, sort of thing, you know, as long as I've got someone with me, that sort of thing, you know, I'll take on anything. And if I'm on my own, yeah, I'll take a bit more reserved pace, but I still could pretty much tackle anything, I guess. Well, on the CT anyway. But anyway, so variety is the spice of life when it comes to that. Why do I ride? To get from A to B, and that's it. Like, originally it was to get from A to B, to get a bike originally. Then it became get to A to B quickly. Then it became get to A to B interestingly, get to A to B cheaply. That's basically what it is. It's the cheapest form of transport sort of thing, because it's cheaper than a car. A to B, cheaper than a car. Go wherever you want. You know, I never had to pay for parking. Road tax is cheap. Insurance is cheap. Petrol is generally a lot cheaper than a car. Okay, fine, you might get a bit cold certain times of the year, like now. I don't know if you can see my breath. It's very cold out here today. Why am I doing this? I have a nice warm house. I could have done it in the house. Probably because I want to do some work on the bike, and hopefully if I just get this going I might move up. Right, so anyway, that's why I ride. There is no particular reason. I guess it started to become as a necessity, and then it just became a hobby, and then now it just becomes like my passion, I guess. In the ideal world, what would be your perfect bike if you could design it yourself? There's no such thing. It's impossible, because, like I say, variety is the spice of life. So it's impossible to have just the one perfect bike. It's literally impossible. So my ideal... It's impossible. Impossible answer. Cannot answer that question. Because it's impossible. It's literally impossible. I'm not a designer. I'd make the Homer car. This monstrosity costs $6,000. We're ruined. That would be what would happen if I ended up designing a bike. Finally, you and your trail riding buddies all crash on trail rides, no phone signals, and you can't make it out. Assistance is a long way, so who do you eat first and why? Hippodrones, because he's got the most... he'll keep us going for months. Curious Goose asks, if you were a learner today, what bike would you get? You can only have one bike. Okay, wait. These are separate questions. Hold on. These are separate questions. First question is, if you're learning to ride a bike, what bike you would get? An old Honda CG125. Because you can get them for like, what, $1,000 and a bit? Like one. And then bikes are generally indestructible. They're a bit more pokey than a Cub. You got a bit more power than a Cub. What are they, 11, 12 brake horsepower? Decent height. You can take them CG125s anywhere, on-road, off-road. You can usually get a rear rack nice and easily. Parts, cheap to run. CG125, what, 70 to the gallon, easy. And that's cheap. That's, you know, cheap bike. I mean, yeah, newer 125s cost about $3 or $4 but they can do like 150 to the gallon, but who needs that? Right, so CG125, easy. If you could have one bike, what would it be? Well, I did answer this on a certain podcast and game show that you were actually in, Curious Goose, and I already did answer that. It'd have to be... In fact, if it came to it and I can only have the one bike, the BMW G650 GS sertao would be the one bike I keep, because it can do everything. And I'm someone who does road trips, camping, adventure, off-road, everything. CT's great, I love the CT, it's too slow. BMW can get me there. It's not the best ride, it will get me there, but for road rides, of course, I like the VFR. But yeah, whatever. If I went into motorcycles, what would be you do for fun? To be honest, if it wasn't for motorbikes, what would I do for fun? I don't actually know, because it's been such a long time. But originally I was into paintball, and a lot of video games, stuff like that. So would I be making stuff? I don't know if I would be or not. I don't know, it's one of those weird things. It's like, it's been so long now. But yeah, about 10-15 years ago I guess I was into paintball, and stuff like that, you know, playing a lot more video games. And then it just kind of like slowly transitioned from video games less and less, and then more to do with motorbikes and stuff. Being able to create things, and at the end stand back and you have something's always probably more appealing to me, sort of thing, I guess. Money or object doesn't have to be expensive. What 3-bike garage would you have? You can only have 3, 9 is taking the mick. Well, let's think about that, shall we? My perfect 3-bike garage would be some sort of road bike. You know, some sort of like road bike, sort of semi-sporty, maybe a sports tour of some kind. You know, a VFR 750 is not bad. Or an 800, the VFR 800. So like a 750 or 800, not 1,000, because that's too much power. You don't really need around 100 brake horsepower, sports tourer, that sort of thing would be good as a road bike. Then I'd want some sort of like mid-range adventure bike. You know, something around, you know, 6 to 700 cc's. You know, with decent luggage options and crash protection. Something that can do the miles and go off-roading. And then my third final bike would be something small, like a very light trail bike. Possibly low cc's. And yeah, I mean, money no object, what 3-bike garage would I like? I wonder what 3 bikes that would meet them criterias. I mean, I could always buy new updated versions of them, but then I wouldn't be able to do the servicing myself. I'd have to pay the upkeep for them and all that. Is there anything on a modern bike that I would really want? And I think we know the build quality on the modern, certain versions of certain Honda vehicles are lesser than what they were back in 1980. So, and when you work it out, certain old bikes, once restored, go for the same value, or more in some cases, than the more modern counterpart. And the only reason that modern counterpart is so expensive is because they don't have it in Europe, which is really dumb. They bring a DAX in instead. Why, Honda? Why am I looking up there? I think you know which 3, though, without me saying. Mr. Goose. Hippodrones asks, if you were able to get a brand new Beta Alp 4.0 or CRF 300, which would you choose and why? Okay, so Beta Alp 4.0 or the CRF 300. The Beta Alp 4.0, hands down, it is a 350. What is it? 350 cc's. Probably similar brake horsepower to the 300L. Okay, fine. It's carburettor, a little bit older, a little bit not as best road mannered. But the 300L is too expensive for what it is. Because once you get it, you have to do the suspension. You might as well buy a second-hand Tenere at that point. Easy. Right, if you're only allowed to have one Honda Cub, which one would you keep? Honda Cub Trail. It's in the name, CT110. Honda Cub Trail. Easy. Goes anywhere. And it's quick enough. Right. Sausage or bacon bap? Ooh, that's a hard one because it depends. Am I having a light snack? Or am I having I feel like you get more sustenance out of sausage. I think you get more sustenance out of a sausage than you do from... You get more sustenance out of a sausage than you do from bacon. Light snack, then it's bacon. Quick snack, bacon sandwich. A meal that could send me to sleep after lunch would be a sausage, though. Variety is the spice of life. What about bacon and sausage? I can't answer the sausage or bacon, to be honest. Theodore Travels. Theodore's Travels asks, what is my favourite colour? I do not really have a favourite colour. I have preferred colours on preferred things. So, for instance, I like my motorbike clothing to be usually black with high-vis highlights or something like that. I prefer my helmets to be brightly coloured. I don't always go for the high-vis, but for some reason I have gone for the high-vis. I think it was just what they had, so it wasn't really like a preferred look. Whatever looks good on the bike, so usually the stock colours, although I am partial to gold wheels, so like wheels, I like to have gold wheels. So it's one of those things, it's like, do I have any favourite colours? Not really, I just have preferred colours for certain items. For instance, I don't like black phones, so my phone has got like a nice, you know, ring around it so you can actually see it when you put it down. And then when it's face down, the back has got a little bit of orange, so it's not too difficult to lose. Yeah, it's just like you don't have a favourite colour. I have favourite colours that objects should be that colour. I don't want this item in this colour, sort of thing. It looks good in these colours, is what I'm saying. I don't have a favourite colour. What is the meaning of bike? 42. Right. Tom's Tusse. What is your favourite type of neckwear? This one. But I also like this one. And I also like this one. And I also like my own hands around my own... Anyway, so that's the end of the video, I think. I'll pick one of the random names and it'll be on screen now. If that's you, congratulations. You win a big Pezza puck. Terms and conditions apply. As in, I don't know, just drop me a message on Instagram or whatever, or Twitter. Links will be below, and send me your address and I'll pop you a big Pezza puck and maybe a sticker or two in the post in 2020, whenever the post office finish their strikes. Right, now I'm going to get back to work on this. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support. For 2,500 subscribers, anyone who has, you know, like, comment, whatever, and the odd Patreon supporters there, thank you very much again for your support over the years, over the past couple of years. Anyway, have a nice rest of the year, whenever this video is coming out, and take it easy. Don't go out on the ice. My ribs hurt. My ribs just ache just thinking about what happened to me. And yeah, catch you next video. Goodbye.